everybody. Art Ekman along with Dave Despain from a crippled Big A for round 3 of the AMA Supercross Series. Many of us were awakened at 3:20 a.m. this morning with aftershock tremors. You know, Dave, I'm beginning to think that we're not on very solid ground. Maybe with one exception. Jeremy McGrath might be.
He looks rock steady, doesn't he? 2 wins and 2 starts in the 1994 season. He comes to his home stadium, which he says is an advantage. Cruised in here looking very solid this morning in his $60,000 to $70,000 NSX Acura, and looks back on the race here a year ago, his very first Supercross victory.
Well, I think before the race I was really nervous going into this race. I got a 4th and a 5th previous to this weekend last year, and you know, I really didn't know if I could win still. So then I went into the race, was behind Stanton, took the lead like on the 3rd lap, and took the victory. Once you've won, you kind of figure out how to do it and how to keep doing it, and that's what I did last year.
Now, Art, consider this. The first checkered flag of Jeremy's career a year and a week ago. There have been 16 Supercross races since then. He's won 12 of them. Once he figured this out, he figured it out.
Preseason prediction time, we didn't exactly or totally agree on everything, but one thing we did feel was that Mike Kudrowski would be in the top 5, if not be a top contender.
And he's fooled us, hasn't he, Art? The only thing worse than a bad start in Supercross is crashing, trying to make up for a bad start. And Kudrowski has done that 2 weeks in a row.
Moto World 2's Jerry Bernardo went after Mike to get some answers.
All right, Mike Kudrowski's always been a top contender at all the Supercrosses. Mike, you having a little bit of trouble in the heats and the mains. What's going on with you?
I just kind of got off to a slow start this year, and been running back in the back of the pack, not getting good starts. And, you know, when you're back there, you're fighting with a lot of guys maybe you shouldn't be. And so we got to change that around here at Anaheim.
Okay, have you been doing anything different in training or anything at all to try and turn that around this week?
My training this week's been about the same as I've done the past couple of years, and me and my teammate Mike LaRocco, we did a lot of stars practicing that together, and so hopefully if both of us are up there in the front, we can win these Supercrosses.
Okay, everybody knows Mike Kudrowski's a never give up, never say die kind of guy, and he's going to do everything in his power to turn that around here tonight at Anaheim Supercross.
Despite the recent earthquake, some 40,000 fans still showed for Supercross's most popular event. Back to Anaheim because of the earthquake and the rain. No press day. The track wasn't really ready until 1:15 this afternoon, Dave.
They survived the earthquake, Art, and then in the middle of the week it started to rain, so they had a mud problem here in addition to the earthquake damage. It's cost them a lot of practice. I flunked geometry. This is an odd-shaped building. What is this, a quadrigon? It's a baseball stadium. The long straightaways are around the outside, and those are your real passing opportunities here, those whoop-de-doo sections.
Getting ready for Heat 1, we see Mike LaRocco being advised by his father, Tuner. After 2 impressive late finish charges in Orlando and Houston, trying to catch Jeremy McGrath. The big question here today is, can he beat McGrath? Jeremy is the only factory Honda rider not in this particular qualifying heat. We've got Stanton, we've got Lamson, we've got Henry. We've got lots of competition for LaRocco, as well as his teammate Kudrowski.
Top 4 will move from the heat directly to the main event. Everybody wants that direct transfer. This ought to be pretty exciting.
Okay, we're ready to go. Heat number 1 qualifying. Top 4 going directly to the main event. Bad start by Kudrowski and LaRocco. As you see there, Lamson takes the whole shot. And it's Billy Mercer going off the track after being bumped by Goodman. Here's Lamson number 4.
Great start for the youngster. And look at Team Honda. 1, 2, 3. Number 5, Jeff Stanton, quickly got around number 8, Doug Henry, to take over the second spot. 3 Hondas up front. LaRocco playing catch-up again.
Stanton riding with a new energy, and has certainly proved in the first 2 opening events of the year that he is a contender this season.
Well, LaRocco flying, and look who's up here for him to chase. Number 3, Mike Kudrowski, another bad start. The 32 is Doug Dubach. Good night for the privateer here.
His first race of the season, as he's got a selected schedule this year on Yamaha. Dubach, though, is being passed right now by Kudrowski. Kudrowski looking for his rhythm, so far in the early season.
Well, he's really had a hard time. We talked about it at the top of the show. Here he is into the transfer spot. This is for 4th and 5th. So Kedrowski tonight appears to be headed in the right direction. The last 2 races, he had to ride the semi to get to the main, and nobody wants to do that.
These are highlights of qualifying heat number 1, and Kedrowski really blew it there.
Just something about the rhythm, something about the timing. There goes number 21, Jeff Matasevich, around Kedrowski. That's going to drop Motocross Mike to 6th, and he's got his work cut out for him again. He just can't seem to get it together in Supercross in '94.
Matasevich, really a hard battler in this qualifying heat. Coming into the season, everybody knew he's a privateer and looking for a factory ride next year if he's to continue in this sport.
Back end about jumped out from under Matasevich there. He nearly lost the spot to Kedrowski. Matasevich versus Kedrowski, Team Polish.
Kedrowski getting by Dubak. Dubak on the inside, number 32, shuts the door. Kedrowski has nowhere to go, and Chicken takes advantage of it.
What a race. 3 wide on a racetrack where they say it's hard to pass. And it's Matasevich who holds on. And look at number 7. LaRocco wants a piece of this action. This is good.
Number 8 is Henry out in front, but Chicken is getting good speed, good quickness. That's Kedrowski right behind him now.
And LaRocco coming like a freight train. He has caught Kedrowski, who wants that direct transfer. Fastest man in this pack is LaRocco, but this many guys running close together reduces the passing opportunities. There aren't as many places to go. He got him right there.
This was the race in the first qualifying heat because Lamson and Stanton out in front have positions 1 and 2.
How about Kedrowski comes up there and gives Sacco a little shove out of the way. Couldn't get around him. This is a terrific motorcycle race.
Matasevich had the strength and the endurance to hold these guys off, though, and it was very disappointing for the Kawasaki crew.
Only one of them is going on. This is the battle for 4th spot, 4th, 5th, and 6th. In front of you right here, and Matasevich, the privateer, showing the 2 fast factory Kawasaki's the way to go.
Jeff, a hungry rider this year, Dave.
I'll say, you mentioned it, Art. If he doesn't get a decent ride next year, he's out of here. He's been going the wrong direction for sure in his recent career.
He makes every right move during this race to hold Kedrowski and LaRocco in back of him.
A lot of it is about the line. Matasevich has consistently been able to beat both Kedrowski and LaRocco to the good line, to get that front wheel there first and leave the other guy with no place to go.
Kedrowski putting the heat on, but just can't seem to get by the Chicken.
Well, I tell you what, Art, if this is a preview of what we're going to see from Anaheim, it was worth the earthquake, worth the track building difficulties. This is just terrific racing. You don't see this a lot. This many guys running over the top of each other like this.
The track looks solid, Dave. It looks like they've done a really good, fast job of putting it together. Of course, it was well known that there was $4 million worth of damage, and they had a $6 million deductible insurance policy, so they even had to pay the whole tab before they got the bulldozers out there.
Same deductibles on your car, Art. What a remarkable coincidence.
Well, it ruled out approximately 15,000 seats because of the damage, and the promoters, of course, quite concerned. Here we have number 21, the Chicken, still holding off LaRocco. There's Henry right in front of Jeff Matasevich.
See the bobble by LaRocco, number 7, got his feet off the pegs, tried to complete the pass on Kedrowski, almost got run over. They're in the lappers, and that's an issue, and that may be the last hope here for the Kawasaki guys, hoping that Matasevich, number 21, will get hooked up with somebody, lose his line, lose his rhythm, and maybe they can get around. Now it's Kedrowski in trouble. These guys are really struggling trying to keep up with Matasevich. Watch Kedrowski here. He tries to go down the inside in these ruts. Boom, front wheel turns out from under him, and that sends him rocketing back across the other way. He almost got into the side of LaRocco.
Out in front, Steve Lamson. No competition in this heat with Stanton right behind him for the second place spot. But the real battle is right here for the transfer spot. Lamson takes first. Stanton comes in second. Henry third, but look at the fight for the transfer spot. The final spot that sends it right to the main. Chicken gets the edge on LaRocco and comes across just in time.
Well, LaRocco took a couple of shots at him in the last couple of corners. Couldn't quite get there.
These are the riders going on to the main event. Motor World 2's Jerry Bernardo talks with Lamson.
Killer hole shot, wire to wire. How'd the race go for you?
Went good. I got a good start and just rode smart. Didn't worry about who was behind me, and that's what I needed to do for, tonight's main event.
How'd you feel about the track?
I feel the track's good. There's a few places to pass. It's pretty good, and pretty technical to get some good stuff in.
How about the scab on his chin there? Lamson was out racing shifter carts with Jeff Stanton endo scuffed up his face.
Heat number 2, number 1, as you saw, Jeremy McGrath. A lot of eyes focused on him. Also, Emig, Craig, and Kyle Lewis, who's been performing well. Number 53 is also in heat number 2 of the qualifying. Jeremy gets a good start, but Emig is out in front of him with Craig, number 19. Denny Stevenson not far behind, number 27, right behind Jeremy McGrath. Here in the highlights of qualifying heat number 2, it's Craig, number 19. Kyle Lewis, 53.
I predicted hot stuff for Craig this year, and he didn't show it in the first couple of races. Here's McGrath quickly going to work on Lewis, and then zing right under his rival, Jeff Emig. And, boy, every time those two get together, you wait for the sparks.
I had the feeling that Craig was approaching the season with more conservatism because of his reputation of not finishing races last year, not being in shape. He's worked hard on his physical condition. Right now, he's trying to get himself in the correct position to make the turn, and Jeremy takes him on the inside.
Craig was a little hesitant coming down through the whoop-de-doos there. When he finally stuck it up on the rail, McGrath was already there. Jeremy into the lead. Look out.
And with him taking off in our highlights of heat number 2 of the qualifying, let's take a look back at the valuable transfer position. We've got Kyle Lewis, Denny Stevenson, and there's Larry Ward. Just flops off, steps off the bike.
Well, just see number 31 run over Ward's motorcycle. Yeah. That's his teammate, Larry Brooks.
Stevenson, 27. That's Swink, number 10, making the move.
This is for the transfer position. Ward, who's been the whole shot artist the last couple races, was up there in it. This is 4th and 5th. Stevenson, number 27. Swink, number 10.
Oh, nice inside move by Brian Swink.
Again, Stevenson, I think, was worrying about the guy behind him instead of worrying about going forward, and he ended up being the guy behind.
Stevenson having his problems after having great potential. And there, we've had a change of terminology on that move by McGrath. His patented aerial move, originally thought to be the can-can, is now labeled the knack-knack, okay? It seems that the bicycle motocross move, the can-can, requires the kick forward after bringing it over the seat, and Jeremy's knee brace just won't let him do it.
I'm glad they found a good name for it. Here's Emig for a solid second. Will be interesting to see how those two fare when they tangle in the main event.
Jerry Bernardo talks with Jeremy McGrath.
Jeremy, once again, you've won. What was the passing room like out there on the track?
Well, Jerry, it was a little bit tough. I mean, the lappers kind of take the good line, and it's kind of hard to get around lappers, but you know, I kind of was trying to figure out some different lines, and got a little bit better start in the main.
I turned my head. Did you do the can-can?
Yeah, I did it on the triple that time. This track doesn't have 2 triples, kind of like the other places. So it's a little bit more difficult to do, but I'm trying to put on a show for him.
All right, good luck, kid.
Thanks.
Concern of the Kawasaki camp, LaRocco and Kudrowski going to the semis to get to the main. There will be 5 riders out of each semifinal round that make it to the main. Semifinal number 1 has Mike LaRocco in it, along with his teammate, Mike Kudrowski. They're obviously the favorites to advance to the main event. There you see Mike Kudrowski, number 3.
This is not Roy Turner's favorite situation, however. Kawasaki team manager not very happy to see his 2 stalwarts in the semifinal.
I guess if you had to look at the positive side, it's more practice starting off the gate because they've had all kinds of problems so far this season. It's Mike Kudrowski out in front.
Stop the presses. Kudrowski has a whole shot. It's a whole new season.
But number 7, you see him in the middle of the screen. Mike LaRocco did not get a good start again.
Boy, I'll tell you what, if they scored points for passing people, LaRocco would be the runaway champion in this series because he starts in the back and passes everybody.
Sounds like another series to me, Dave.
Yeah, indeed. Look at this move. Right through the middle, and he's got 3 guys in 1 pass.
He'll have no trouble in these highlights qualifying for the main event. It's just the slow starts that kill him every time. Usually the fastest bike on the track in every event he participates in.
Starts could be summed up very simply. A lot more things can go wrong than go right. And this season, LaRocco and Kudrowski have discovered virtually every one of those things.
Number 23, Jeremy Buell from London, Ohio, out in front of this pack as LaRocco. Oh, he had trouble there with Doug Dublock. Dublock with 1 Supercross win in his career. As we mentioned earlier, a limited schedule this year, coming off an injury-riddled season last year.
There is the pass that LaRocco wanted to make on Doug Dubach. He has spent most of his night racing guys with 3-digit numbers that he didn't even know had Supercross licenses.
Mike Kudrowski out in front has it pretty smooth.
Problem is, when you win the semi, you don't get much of a pick of starting spot for the main event, and that's been his problem all year.
Jeremy Buell comes across the finish line second, LaRocco third. Now Jerry Bernardo talked with Mike Kudrowski. This is the second time in 3 events he's had to perform in the semis to get to the main.
Okay, Mike, in the earlier heat race, if you hadn't been battling with LaRocco, do you think you both would have qualified? Did that have anything to do with anything?
I think a little bit. We had like a 3-way battle there, and we were battling pretty hard. We were stuffing each other, and we were slowing each other down. But, you know, I think me and him are both riding really well, really fast, and I think if we get out by ourselves, we're going to go.
Semifinal number 2 now, featuring Nolene Yamaha's Larry Ward and Larry Brooks, a couple of the faster ride bikes in this semifinal. Kyle Lewis also looking for a spot in the main event. Ward and Brooks are right next to each other, 11 and 31 as you see them take off. And it is Larry Ward, no surprise. Going off the track, though, is David Castillo, and Steven Liedberg also having his problems in that first turn as Ward looks back and sees his teammate.
Great start, much better than in the heat when Ward crashed and Brooks ran over his motorcycle. But Brooks fell off hard in this one, and here you see he is down but not out. He was able to come back and ride the last chance, and that was a big surprise because he had his bell rung pretty well.
He was unconscious for about a minute when he went head first, coming up short on the triple. Looking back at the transfer spot, that's Kyle Lewis, number 53, along with Kalos and Stevenson battling it out. Up front, Larry Ward cruising.
It's actually a pretty good battle, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th as Ward takes home the checker. They shuffle those spots. Cliff Palmer inherited 2nd after the crash, and then it was Kyle Lewis right here coming across in 3rd spot, 4th and 5th to Kalos and Stevenson, and they're all going to the main.
Let's go to Motor World 2's Jerry Bernardo, who caught up with Larry Ward.
Okay, Larry, that was a little bit better than your earlier heat race. How'd you feel out there? How'd the race go for you?
I felt real good. You know, my Nolene Yamaha's running real good. Feel good tonight. It's the best I've ever felt at Anaheim. I love coming here, but I never seem to ride that good. I'd like to give a call out to my teammate Larry Brooks. I hope he's okay. He's a great teammate. He pushes me every day, and we have a lot of fun as well. So I hope he's doing okay.
Is that a little bit more of a confidence builder towards the main now?
Yeah, definitely. My old teammate Brian Swink at Suzuki, I think he misses me. He gave me a little love tap there in the heat race, so I'm looking forward to the main. Like I said, my Sizzler Nolene Yamaha is running well, and I'm having fun here tonight.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Those getting into the main through the last chance, Buddy Antonez, Doug Dubach. Dubach just beating out Ashkenazi from Australia for that honor. We'll be back to Anaheim Stadium with the 125 main event after this. Welcome back, Anaheim, California. Art Ekman along with Dave Despain as we get ready for the highlights of the 125 main event. Your favorite right there, Damon Huffman. Pedro Gonzalez also very quick, the Mexican national champion who's done very well in his limited appearances so far in the United States. The big story going into the main event was number 22, Ryan Hughes. His father passing away. Obviously, the concentration just wasn't there. Ryan Hughes going down in both the heat racing, and here you see the last chance qualifier. Gets gamely back up, but fails to make the main event.
2nd rank in the Western Region points. It's just a real tragedy that he won't be racing tonight. There you see the points. Hughes will not start the feature, so it's Huffman versus Gonzalez.
Decker coming off an injury from last year. We get set at the line in our highlights now for the 125 main. The future stars of Supercross get ready in this 125 Western Division event. Their 2nd of the year, as both the East and the West met in the last event in Houston. With the lesser experienced riders, we can always anticipate a big crunch over the first turn as Pedro Gonzalez gets off with a nice start for the first time in his Supercross career. Going down is Jason McCormick, number 45. Travis Hodge and Ty Birdwell also mixed up in that melee. Donald Upton is off his bike.
Bike with no rider is Upton's. There he is, hurt his arm, and the medical personnel will be attending to him. I think his evening is over.
Upton with a pretty good start in Houston. Came out of the first lap in 8th position, but finished to 15th as we look at the leader at this point, Bader Manet.
Nice international flavor up here. Bader Manet rides the GP circuit, and you've got number 86, Pedro Gonzalez, the Mexican champion, sandwiched in here among number 20, Damon Huffman, who did not get a very good start, and the 141 of Decker.
This is really the best start of Pedro Gonzalez's career as he's following Decker, and 122 is Bader Manet. He took a 6th place in Houston, makes his home in Santee, California right now, holding on to the edge over Pedro Gonzalez.
Good 4-rider battle up front. You've got to wonder if Hoffman isn't going to make some kind of a move early here. He's stuck back there. Yeah, he's got Decker right there, and he's into 3rd.
Gonzalez has made a lot of improvements since coming out of Mexico, where he did not have very much competition, but he developed some excellent technique. But look at Huffman, number 20, already right on his tail, ready to take it over.
He's trying to set something up. See how he goes to the outside on the whoops there? We say it every show. Don't follow the guy in front of you. Find a place to pass. Make something happen. You kids who want to be Supercrossers, find a place to pass, just like Damon Huffman.
Right there you see the inexperience of Gonzalez in traffic. Huffman, though, he's a veteran by 125 standards, and he's now pushing for the lead.
He was certainly the pre-race favorite, number 20, Damon Huffman. Long, lanky kid. Kind of reminds me of Mike Bell back when he came up in the 70s. He was about 6'2", 6'3". Huffman's not quite that tall, but as he puts the pressure on Manet here, you see those big, long legs working and working well. Ooh, how about Pedro?
Yeah, he doesn't lack courage, but he gets caught in that basket.
Yeah, you can. It's easy to jump it in there, but the hard part is making it pay off. The pass by number 20. Gonzalez made all the sparks jumping into the whoops, but it was Huffman who came out faster, and that got him the lead.
Huffman crashing hard early last year set him back quite a bit as we see Manet now in 3rd, but getting pressed by Decker. Decker coming off a bad injury, a broken leg last year. He's worked hard to get back and makes a good inside move.
Yeah, like spinning donuts. Get your foot down, just get that back wheel skating around. He ends up right in front of Bader Manet and leaves Manet with no place to go. Bader has slipped from 1st to 4th. His inexperience is showing up a little bit here, I think.
And here comes James Dobb passing Manet. Dobb out of England is working with a very, very sore shoulder. He injured in Houston last week.
Oh, I see a bit of the Brit here. Good ride up to 4th, and the international flavor continues in the top 5. I like seeing that. I like to see more international competition in Supercross.
He joined the circuit late last year, battling right here with David Pingree.
Pingree out of Scottsdale, Arizona on the Suzuki. Doing very well here as he moves up to 4th. He gets around Dobb, and this is all a function of Bader Manet going backward.
Meanwhile, out in front, Huffman passing a lapper and takes the checkered flag. Damon Huffman, his first win of the year after 3rd place finish in Houston. Gonzalez, his first platform performance of the year, and it's Decker's first ever. Jerry Bernardo with the 5-time winner.
Damon Huffman, new rising young sensation. Wicking it up out front. How did it go for you?
Well, I thought I had a good jump off the start, but really, I don't know what happened. I missed a shift, and a bunch of guys got in front of me, but I rode really good, and I chose excellent lines, and Maria made it that much easier to pass all those guys and pull a little bit of a lead out, and then last couple laps put on a little show for the crowd.
The top 3 in tonight's Anaheim race, the top 3 in the point standings as well. How about Pedro?
Pedro Gonzalez, this is the 2nd time you've been on the podium. You had a good race. How did you feel out there tonight?
Well, yeah, this is my 2nd time on the podium. I feel great. Well, just I want to do better this week in San Diego, and I think that I can do it.
The 125s in the record books. Damon Huffman, his first win of the season and the points leader. We'll be back with the 250 main right after this. There's some of the factory riders waiting for the 250 main to get underway. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath, of course. Steve Lamson, number 4. Jeff Emick, number 6. You know, there was a hotshot young factory rider back in 1990 who was gunning for the title before an injury. Number 20 on a Kawasaki, Jeff Matasevich. He was riding high in those days, David.
That big pass on number 7, Doug Dubach, gave him his only Supercross victory. 1990 in Las Vegas. Everybody had such high hopes. 2 more years with Kawasaki. He never won again.
Dropped by Kawasaki. It was looked upon as a last chance here with Suzuki in 1993 as far as factory rides were concerned. All kinds of problems prevented anything but a heat race win that year. Now a privateer. The atmosphere more desperate, trying to rekindle past glories. He's back really where he started, looking for sponsors, hoping for the chance to get back to the factory system. Sitting in the North County Yamaha box van, Jeff reflects on the contrasts.
It's just a lot of work, and when you're a factory rider, all you got to do is show up to the race. Privateer, now I'm booking flights, and I'm renting vans, and it's definitely a lot more work, but it gives you that much more determination to decide, hey, do I want to keep racing, or do I want to move on with my life? And I made the decision that I wanted to race, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and but sometimes, you know, it's a lot of work, it pays off, so hopefully it's going to pay off.
A big key to his hopes is mechanic tuner Ron Heben, who is tuned for the likes of Ricky Johnson, Keith Bowen, and Steve Lamson.
You know, one thing is there's a elite group of riders that have the talent and potential. Jeff is one of the guys out there that has won Supercrosses. He knows how to win. A lot of guys are fast, but they've never put it all together in one. He knows what it takes to win. That's one of the big things in our favor. Now we just got to get him a little bit more hungrier, and I got to do a little bit more to try to make the motorcycle up to his standard that we're accustomed to.
Well, Heben's taken a lot of the pressure off Jeff Matasevich, claiming the responsibility for getting the bikes up to speed. Heben will be back next year. I'm not sure Matasevich will.
After an 11th and 16th so far this season, what is his timetable for success?
If I'm not a factory rider, I probably will not ride again next year. But I feel I have the speed, and each week the bike's getting better, and I'm feeling more comfortable on it. And the speed's there. I've done it before. I just, you know, have to want to do it.
20 riders on the line wanting to do it here in Anaheim as we're just about ready to go with the 250 main event. Can anyone beat Jeremy McGrath?
Can the Kawasaki's get a start? That's the question in my mind.
Set to go. And Jeff Emming gets out of the gate pretty well on the inside. Larry Ward gets the whole shot, but look at Mike LaRocco once again a long way behind.
Third week in a row, it's number 11 out front. How about the no-lean Yamaha? But you're right, LaRocco's got to play catch-up again. Emming is second.
Stanton fourth. Moving into third, Jeremy McGrath, number 1. He's in great position as he takes on Jeff Emming, number 6.
We've said it before, that's always fireworks time when 1 and 6 get together.
Ward with 2 whole shots in 3 races. Emming got the other one, and they're up front. Emming, Ward, McGrath, and Stanton. But the top 3 starting to pull away from Stanton already.
Emming didn't waste any time getting around Larry Ward, and Ward, who has failed to hang on to the whole shot 2 weeks running, is in danger of going to third, and Jeremy's got him.
Emming holding the edge as they go for the jump. Jeff was never really in the first race of the year in Orlando, where he started out 11th and finished 7th, but he hit the podium in Houston.
Emming looks good here. He's opened a little gap on this terrific race for second. Number 1 is McGrath. Number 5 is Stanton, trying to get around the 11 of Larry Ward, who comes up high and hangs onto the spot.
Ward improving each week. Another privateer who's also getting into the act in this race is Jeff Matasevich, currently 5th. We'll be back in a moment. Back to Anaheim, California. 250 Supercross main event action. Jeff Emming in front of Jeremy McGrath. Number 11 is Larry Ward in 3rd, with Jeff Stanton in 4th. And back in the pack, LaRocco cased it on a triple jump. Something's wrong with that bike, Dave.
Apparently he hit hard enough that he actually broke something in the transmission. The gears are rattling around. The bike is broken. LaRocco's out of it. Unbelievable.
One race can't win the championship, but one bad one can certainly lose the title, and his hopes have now dwindled.
He was the only man this year who's been as fast as Jeremy McGrath. He broke the bike, landed on the cases on a triple jump.
Meanwhile, out in front, Jeremy McGrath is tuning in on Jeff Emig. Emig, one of only 2 riders other than Jeremy to lead laps this year.
Ooh, looky there. McGrath did a triple jump to the inside, took the line away from Emig. Jeremy knows that he just makes Emig crazy. These 2 guys don't like each other, and McGrath uses it on Emig.
Emig fighting back, taking the inside now as they go wheel to wheel.
Wow, what a comeback. Emig not having any of it. Says, I don't like this guy. I want to be in front of him, and he put a great retaliatory pass on Jeremy McGrath. Has anybody else passed Jeremy McGrath this year? Not that I remember.
Absolutely correct, Dave, as they come off the whoops. Let's check this move, and Emig able to take the line away from Jeremy.
Yeah, brake checked him a little bit. I tell you, before this year is out, I think there's going to be trouble between these 2 guys, because they not only don't like each other, but they don't make any bones about it. I mean, Jeremy's made some very strong comments about this guy in print, and you know Emig can read.
Stanton taking Ward, or very close to it anyway, in third, as Emig holding on to the lead. Jeremy a little slow in that corner.
Ward used that high rail again. We saw that earlier to keep the lead from Stanton, but just barely. Stanton is much closer now than he was last time. This time, he's got him. Number 5, Jeff Stanton around Larry Ward. Boy, this is bad news for Ward. It's the Ward fade. 3rd time this year he's done it.
Stanton riding on the edge to take him. Jeremy McGrath picking up the slack between him and Jeff Emig now.
I would look for the first 3 to get away from Ward. There is number 8. That's Doug Henry. He's riding 5th.
Jeff Matasevich right behind him as Jeremy McGrath couldn't quite get the muster out of the corner.
He's keeping the pressure on Emig. He wants to force the mistake and get to the lead. And right here is where he passed him last time.
Emig takes the short jump. Jeremy takes the triple, looks up at him as if to say, what are you doing up there? I'm taking this thing over.
Or as if to say, I could have done that anytime I wanted, Emig. There's no way you could race with me. Emig will just go crazy now trying to catch back up with him.
He caught him one time before this race, but Jeremy looks a little more determined now, much more aggressive.
He's not going to catch him again. This thing is over unless maybe Stanton.
Here's the order of things. McGrath, Emig, and Stanton along with Ward and Henry. Welcome back to Anaheim. 3rd event of the year as things are underway with guess who out in front.
McGrath is gone, and I mentioned Stanton as a possibility to catch him. If he's going to do that, he's got to get around Jeff Emig. And in the battle of the Jeff, Stanton is right there starting to put some pressure on.
Emig, after leading for 4 laps. Now the question is, can he finish on the podium? Stanton, though, has been riding with such aggressive movements.
And still hurt a little bit. His shoulder dinged up last week in Houston and still sore. But you're right, he's being very aggressive. Kind of hard to know what to expect from Stanton. He said he had a new outlook coming into this year. We've certainly seen moments of brilliance, but the results haven't been any different from last year.
Well, that crash in Houston was a doozy. He certainly showed courage and desire to get right back into the fray. He only lost 1 spot in that crash in the qualifying heat, even though it ripped the visor right off his helmet and knocked him a little cuckoo for a while. He's taken on Jeff Emig now on the outside as Emig has the edge on the turn.
Stanton's trying something every corner. He's trying to figure out a different line to get around Emig, and I'm beginning to think maybe it's a matter of time. He looks quicker to me than Emig.
Emig so far hasn't cracked under the pressure, but here comes Stanton in the whoops.
Find your spot, find your time, make a line, go around, get to the front. What made Stanton a 3-time champion.
Stanton in 2nd place now, Emig in 3rd.
I'll tell you who's doing a good job here is number 11. Larry Ward has not lost the pace like he did the last 2 times out, and there may be a reason. Cycle News joked, asked him if he was training harder. He said, yeah, cheeseburgers and Twinkies. But the fact is his team manager, Clark Jones from No Lean, kidnapped him this week, took him up to Apple Valley, said, you're staying with me, you're going to eat right, you're going to sleep right, you're going to do better this week, and he is doing better. He's maintaining the pace.
He sure is, as he looks like he's picking up the space on Emig.
He led the first race in Orlando, then faded back to, what, 4th or 5th before the crash with Jeff Stanton. Jeremy McGrath won that race, too, you might recall, as he leads this one handily. In the next outing in Houston, Texas, Ward again got the whole shot. This time faded, but not quite so badly. He ended up in 7th spot. But he says it's not physical condition. He says it's mental conditioning. He says you got to be able to think fast to run up front. I don't know if I'd buy that.
Well, I think slower when I go out late at night, too, you know.
You've been talking to Clark Jones. Anyway, number 11's doing a great job here tonight, so give him credit. Whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's getting more sleep, he's up there putting pressure on Emig, and that could be a key to a podium finish for Larry Ward tonight.
It is McGrath out in front, though, with his teammate Stanton second and Emig third. Welcome back to Anaheim, California, the third Supercross event of the year, as we see Larry Ward chasing Jeff Emig in a good battle for third.
Yamaha's had a pretty good year thanks to Ward and Emig. Ward, the privateer, on the no-lean Yamaha. Emig, of course, on the factory stuff. And one or the other of them is going to end up on the podium tonight to break up a Honda sweep. That's good.
Ward coming into this year trying to rekindle his career is certainly doing so here in Anaheim, California.
He had his big moment the same time Jeff Matasevich did back in 1990 when Matasevich won Vegas. That was the year Larry Ward won the Seattle Supercross and established himself as a star to beat. Now he's in the privateer rank, so there's a real parallel there with Matasevich.
Well, the former 125 champion in the outdoors is not giving him a break. Jeff Emig, as we take a look at the leader, Jeremy McGrath.
And we see the lap traffic, the only threat to Jeremy's third straight victory. Stanton is not going to catch him tonight. So unless Jeremy tips over passing one of the cannon fodder here, this one is history.
Jeremy McGrath out in front. No one expected any rookie to steal the show like Jeremy McGrath did last year. But Doug Henry's the type of rider, his teammate, who likes to progress each week.
Yeah, you know, that's the main thing with consistency is, you know, learning from your mistakes. And if you make a mistake, you got to figure out what you did the next week and, you know, try to correct it during the week practice. And, you know, that's what I did last year. And, you know, this year it's going to be a lot different because I got to learn, you know, about the 250s. And I feel real comfortable on them. So I don't think there'll be too much of a problem this year.
Henry starting to get a little pressure from behind as Jeremy McGrath continues to lead and rides with ease. Has not been pressured in the last 3 laps. Here's the battle with Henry and Kedrowski. Kedrowski got a bad start again, came out of 10th and has made a terrific charge, is taking on Henry for 5th place. It looks like Kedrowski is starting to get some of the rhythm back.
Well, at least he's kept it off the ground tonight, and that's an improvement from the first 2 outings. Although, frankly, I didn't expect to see him running back in 6th at this juncture in either the season or the evening. I thought Kedrowski was going to be faster than he's been this year. Henry's holding him off pretty well despite that sore shoulder. He and Stanton both with sore wings. Stanton after the crash in Houston, and number 8 Henry crashed in practice between Orlando and Houston.
And really how it's affected him is he's been unable to really work out like he's accustomed between races. His conditioning, he's trying to bring it back a little slower simply because it's still so sore.
That's the thing people forget is the amount of time and energy that these guys expend between races. Look out, Kedrowski comes in and makes the move.
Good block pass. Kedrowski moving into 5th place.
Henry moving into the hay bales, and that'll be a disappointment for him.
And meanwhile, sailing through the air with ease, taking 2 triples over those small little jumps, is Jeremy McGrath.
You can see it on his butt right there. He's kind of got the knockoff leathers every week. It was Mac Attack, as in McGrath, a knockoff of Shaq O'Neal. Now it says Phone Home, a tribute to his sponsor, 1-800-CALL-COLLECT. I love it.
Stanton in 2nd place, number 5. Emig in 3rd place. Not that far behind, but really hasn't given any challenge to Stanton lately.
They're in traffic, and that will affect both of them, whoever gets through the traffic more quickly. Point is, neither of them can catch McGrath, and I don't think now that Emig's going to be able to do anything with Stanton. If there's a danger here, it would be that Emig might be caught by Larry Ward, who continues to be pretty aggressive.
Emig trying to get by Kalos here as Stanton has Denny Stevenson, number 27, in front of him. Emig looking back, and just rides off the racetrack.
One more reason why you don't want to be looking over your shoulder. He looked right, the bike turned right a little bit, he hit the whoop wrong and drove off the road. Big mistake.
A good break for Larry Ward. Champion Jeff Stanton currently in second place here in Anaheim. In striking distance to Jeremy McGrath should anything happen to this young man who has had another fantastic race.
That was kind of a half-hearted can or knick-knack or whatever you call that. He didn't do it very well that time.
Yeah. It'll probably change terminology next week. And what a race for Larry Ward.
He was in position to take advantage of Emmig's mistake, and that was the key. Podium finish is going to be good for Ward after the fast fade that he did the last 2 weeks, and he was much more on the pace, I think, here tonight for 20 laps than he was in those first 2 races.
McGrath going through the motions on the final lap as he waves to the fans.
Well, it's home for him. 50 miles away is Murrieta, California, which he calls home, and he feels very motivated coming in here. He told the Cycle News guys that he thinks he's riding faster right now than he ever has in his life, and they said, well, yeah, but it's making all the races boring, and he said, that's the idea.
We've had some great racing behind Jeremy McGrath this year, though. Some terrific competition like today. And
there it is.
Knack.
Knock, knock. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a long year, Art. If he continues to do this, the rest of these guys are really going to suffer. The nice thing about it, the good news is, it's like watching a virtuoso performance. You know, you can really appreciate just how fast he goes, just how well he does it. Everybody's on their feet acknowledging the kid from Murrieta who made good.
His third consecutive victory at the start of the season. This win tying him with Rick Johnson's record of 14 wins in consecutive seasons, but Davey gets closer to that mark of 5 straight wins to begin a Supercross season.
Stanton still the hopeful. Comes home in second spot tonight. That'll be good for him in terms of points, but if he's going to win that 4th championship, he's going to have to make some big fireworks real soon.
Well, at least he's in good position should something unfortunate happen to Jeremy McGrath. And what a happy evening for Larry Ward. His first podium appearance since 1992 at Charlotte. Also, a very credible performance put in by Mike Kudrowski, taking a 4th place after 2 disappointments earlier. For Jeff Stanton, his best ride of the year. And our Jerry Bernardo is with him now.
Put yourself on the podium. Good job. What was the battle like when Jeremy took off?
Well, Jeremy just got out in clean traffic, and I was stuck behind Emmig for a couple of laps, but he rode a great race. I mean, he's riding good.
You knew you could make the move on Emmig? You felt strong like that?
Yeah, I knew I could get by them, and I just wanted to be consistent, be on this podium. You never know how long it's going to last for him. He could be on his head any minute, but he did a great job tonight.
You rode a good race. Good job.
Thank you.
McGrath, a perfect 75 points leading, 17 back as Stanton, the big loser, Larocco. Let's hear from the victor.
1, 2, 3. Showtime again. You tell me the story. I don't have any questions.
Well, Jerry, that time I just got a great start. You know, my 1-800 Honda Collect bike was running great. You know, I mean, couldn't have done it no better. That's the kind of lead I like when I win the races, and the track was perfect for me. I mean, technical was just like my backyard.
So you're ready to set the Supercross world on fire again in '94?
Well, this is where I started last year. Let's see if I can do it again.
Landing short on a triple, the crankcase gave way on bike number 7, and Mike Larocco's title hopes took a big dent at the same time.
Yeah, when I landed off that little triple jump after the whoops, I landed real hard, and when I did land, something in the inside of my bike broke, and it just started making a lot of noise. Yeah, I felt, you know, I was in a good position that I had a chance this year to, you know, to take the title away from Jeremy. He's riding good, but I think I had the speed to do it, and, you know, it's going to make it a lot harder this way.
We thought it was physical condition. Larry Ward said it was mental conditioning. His team manager said it was lack of sleep. Jerry Bernardo tries to find out which is right.
Mr. LW, not content. He had the little hole shot, dropped back, and then you shifted back up. How was it?
Once again, you know, my Team Sizzler No Lean Yamaha is awesome. I've gotten 3 awesome starts, 2 hole shots, and 1 real close. I didn't win this race, but I think I'm a lot happier just being up here than Jeremy for winning. I'd like to say hi to my dad and my sister in Washington, and special hello to my mom and stepfather in South Carolina. They stuck with me the last couple of years, and it's going to be a good year.
Did you do anything different this week to put yourself on the podium after fading back last couple of races?
Yeah, I did. Like I said in the last couple interviews, it's mental, and tonight when I got the hole shot, I didn't try to lead. I let whoever wanted to lead, and I hung tight, and I think I got back to 4th or 5th at one time, and towards the end I was coming on, I could see that big number 5 in front of me, and you know, these 2 guys are riding good. They have a little momentum on me, but I'm catching up.
All right, good job, Larry.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, it's Jeremy McGrath on the podium, popping the champagne after his 3rd straight win, looking to break all kinds of consecutive win records now as the series moves on to San Diego and then Tampa before Atlanta. Rick Johnson holds the record for consecutive wins at the beginning of the season with 5. He teams with Bob Hanna with the record for consecutive wins with 6. Art Ekman for Dave Despain and Jerry Bernardo saying thank you for being with us.